Remembering the Armenian Genocide, a century of truth and justice? In the early 1900s, approximately 2 million Armenians lived within the Ottoman Empire. For centuries, they cultivated the land, built churches, and developed a rich cultural heritage. However, as the political instability of the empire deepened, Armenians were increasingly perceived as a threat. Despite their economic and cultural advancements, they faced growing discrimination within the empire. In 1914, World War I broke out. The Ottoman Empire, allied with Germany, went to war against Russia. Many Armenians shared religious and cultural ties with Russia, leading the Ottoman government to view them as potential traitors. As a result, extreme measures to remove Armenians from the empire began to take shape within government circles. On April 24, 1915, the Ottoman government arrested 250 Armenian intellectuals and community leaders in Istanbul. Accused of treason, most were imprisoned and later executed. This date is now recognized as the beginning of the Armenian Genocide. The Ottoman government then initiated systematic policies to eliminate the Armenian population. Following the arrests, the Ottoman government ordered the forced deportation of Armenians from eastern Turkey to the Syrian desert. But this was not mere relocation. It was a death march. Hundreds of thousands were forced to walk for miles with little to no food or water. Many perished from starvation and disease along the way. Ottoman soldiers executed those who collapsed from exhaustion. Women and children were raped, kidnapped, and forcibly converted to Islam. To justify the mass killings, the Ottoman government spread propaganda, claiming that Armenians were rebelling and that extreme measures were necessary for national security. However, foreign journalists and even some within the Ottoman administration documented the reality of the atrocities, exposing the truth behind the government's actions. By 1918, more than 1 million Armenians had been massacred. Some survived, but were permanently exiled from their homeland. They sought refuge in Syria, Lebanon, France, the United States, and other parts of the world. Though the Armenian people were not erased from history, their ancestral homeland was taken from them, leaving a scar that remains to this day. Despite overwhelming historical evidence, the Armenian Genocide remains unrecognized by some. The Turkish government officially denies that it was genocide, instead asserting that the deaths were a consequence of civil war and famine. However, the testimonies of foreign correspondents, diplomats, and survivors tell a different story. History is not merely a record of the past. When forgotten, it is doomed to repeat itself. The Holocaust, the Cambodian killing fields, the Rwandan genocide. Despite the lessons of the Armenian Genocide, the world has continued to witness similar tragedies. We must not forget. Remembering these atrocities is not just about mourning the past, but ensuring that such horrors never happen again. And today, if you are fortunate enough to experience a peaceful, ordinary day, take a moment to appreciate it. For many, such a simple privilege was never granted. Today, Armenians remain scattered across the world. Diaspora communities work tirelessly to preserve their culture and to spread awareness of the genocide. Many nations, including the United States and European countries, have officially recognized the Armenian Genocide, yet the Turkish government continues to deny it. This issue remains more than a historical dispute. It is a fundamental question of justice and human rights in the modern world. We must remember, when history's darkest moments are ignored, they risk being repeated. A century later, we must continue telling this story, not with silence, but with truth. Recording history, speaking out, and educating future generations is our responsibility. Remembering the past is the first step toward building a better world.